I were to tell you that we're all getting played, but better yet, played with, that we're all being used as pieces in a game that most of us didn't even realize was going on. Your side versus my side. Divide and conquer, one of the oldest tricks in the book. Split us all up into tribes and set us at each other's throats and step back and let nature do the rest. And to the victor goes the spoils. And people, it's all just one big ass game to them. They don't even look at us as human anymore. We're just pawns in their worldwide game. But make no mistake about it, we are getting played. I mean, just take a look right now at what's going on in France. You seen the marches? And the exact same thing is starting to happen all across the whole world. And you think all this is just by, what, coincidence? Or is it by design? And I don't know. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I know something is going on. Let's talk about tribalism. I really didn't know a lot about it until now. I used to think that tribalism was just something you found in history books, you know? Painted faces, war drums, spears, that kind of stuff. But people, trust me when I tell you, it is so much more than that. In reality, hell, you don't need any of that stuff I was talking about to be in a tribe. A tribe is just a group of people who feel connected because they share something that's really important to them, or they believe something that's really important to them. Matter of fact, most of us are in tribes right now. Didn't even realize it. 5 or 6 of them at least 5 or 6. Think about that for a second. That there's family, school, politics, religion, sports, online tribes, bowl, all that, tribes. So you don't have to go to Paris or Washington to get caught up in tribalism. And tribalism itself, it runs on 4 core beliefs. The first one is identity, and that's just saying who we are as a group. The second one is belonging. That's just saying, these are my people, this is my group. Third one is loyalty. We look out for our own. And the fourth one is boundaries, meaning this is us, you are you, you're not one of us. And then every tribe needs an enemy or a rival. And it can be perceived or real, doesn't matter. Just somebody that they can aim their anger at and blame everything on. And people, I've seen firsthand how deep this shit goes. It goes pretty deep. A lot of psychological manipulation. Picture this scene. Somebody collapses, right? They need help, medical attention. A group of people around. But the crowd, nobody steps forward to help. They'll stand up, they'll look, they'll pull their phones out, they'll take pictures, they may take videos, but nobody helps. Have you ever seen that? And then you ask yourself, well, why is nobody helping? Because it feels safer to freeze up with the group than to step up and act alone. You see, people, what you're seeing in action, that's tribal wiring. That's conditioning at work. We've been conditioned so deeply that most of us can't even think for ourselves anymore. So now independent thought or independent action, they'll get you shunned. They'll get you shut out of the group nowadays. You say one thing or do one thing the group doesn't like, you're out. Because here's the truth. Because we are group animals, being wrong in a group feels a lot safer than being right, but standing alone and getting shunned from the group. And people, we're seeing this play out all over the world in real time. And we're really seeing it happening right here in this country. And I'm not going to get into that. But now I get a better understanding of why people stay in things when they know they're wrong, but they refuse to speak up. Again, because it's easier to be wrong in a group than it is to question a group and get cast out. Stop and think about this for a second. Think back to high school, right? Every high school has what? They have their mascot, they have their team colors, school song, pep rallies, the whole 9. And then think about your rival high school. Every high school has a rival. They're your sworn enemy, right? Even if you don't know a single person who goes to that school, you may not know anybody who's ever went to that school, but for some reason, you just dislike that school. Why is that? Because that's what you've been taught. That's what we've been conditioned to do. And that same conditioning carries straight into sports. Think about that. We buy a team's jerseys, right? We know who the mascots are. We know the players. Hell, people even get into real fights over sporting events. Wait a minute. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? Isn't that exactly what we're doing in politics today? Team colors, fights. Wow. See the parallels? But see, people, that's textbook herd mentality. One person does it, so everybody does it. And we see this behavior all the time now. It's become so commonplace, we don't even recognize it. Think about this. Take your last name, for instance, right? Something that we take for granted. We don't think about it because we didn't pick it. It was just given to us at birth. But in fact, people, that's a tribal symbol. Your last name represents your family, your tribe. You ever heard this? Don't disgrace the family name. I know I have. People, that's a loyalty test. And in religion, pay attention here, because this is where it really kind of locks in. Crescent, star, cross, it don't matter. They all have their own prayers and chants and rituals that bind their followers together, right? And all of these people believe the same thing, and they'll violently, if need be, protect those beliefs. And if you're part of that group, right, and you do something to betray that group's trust, right, then you risk being rejected from the group, or worst of all, excommunicated. Either way, you're out of the group. Remember this too, people. When you're dealing with religion, it's no longer just about your life down here on earth anymore. Now, your eternal salvation, that's on the line. And people, that's a whole different level of tribalism and crazy. And even online with brands, we see it now. Think about that. When you subscribe to a certain channel, you become a member. Well, you're a member of that channel's tribe. You're part of that channel's family. The creator is the mascot. That's the face of the tribe. The logos or sayings or merchandise or whatever, those are the symbols that represent the tribe. And the subscribers, finally, that's the family. That's you. That's the tribe. And the enemy, well, that could be a rival channel, or could be the algorithm, or it could be whatever culture war that group is fighting at that moment. And then think about this, and I know you've seen this. Somebody shows up in the comments, right? And they go against the grain of what that group believes. What happens to them? People start to attack them and pile on. And people, that's not reasoning. That's the tribe just saying, whoa, this dude's not one of us, and we don't agree with what he's saying. He needs to get up out of here. Big brands, they do it too. Think about it all the time. We never think about it because it's so commonplace. Apple versus Android. Ford versus Chevy, and Nike versus Adidas. You see, people, we're no longer just buying a product, but we're choosing a side. We're choosing a tribe, whether you realize it or not. And people, that's tribal loyalty. It's just disguised as brand loyalty. Be honest about something. Have you ever argued with somebody about how one brand is better than another brand? That's a loyalty test. I know I've done it. I'll say in a heartbeat, Asics shoes are the best running shoes on earth. I'm part of their family. And here's something else that was really eye-opening for me about this whole tribalism thing. I never knew much about it until I started investigating. It really is fascinating. Tribalism is natural for us as humans, right? In fact, us as humans, for instance, we are naturally tribal animals. We are social animals. We like to pack together. We form groups naturally. That's just what we do. We did it for protection and survival originally. But see, now somebody discovered that they can use this basic human instinct against us. And so now it's been weaponized. And the playbook is real simple. It's really not that hard. You just got to be able to recognize it. You give people a symbol, right? You point out an enemy to them. You give that group a slogan or a chant or some bumper sticker, and then you have them repeat it over and over again until the people accept it as being true. Schools call it school spirit. Religions call it faith. Politics call it patriotism. Most companies call it product branding. Different names, same game, same methodology, same end result. So now, people, you know for sure you're not outside tribalism. So you don't have to say, oh, I've never been a tribe. Yeah. In fact, we're all swimming in tribes every day. We just never recognized it before. The real question should be, not are you in a tribe? Because you are in a tribe. Make no mistake about that. The real question, like I said, should be, which tribes you in? Who's pulling your strings? And why? And like I said, people, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you realize that tribes are around us everywhere, you start to see it. I know I do. I tell my wife all the time, hey, you do realize that that's tribalism. Can you shut up? But anyway, hey, just give you something to think about, man. Put a little something on your mind, on your gray matter up there. But at any rate, hey, be sure to check out my next video. I'm going to go back into this subject, right? I'm going to break down how these leaders manage to keep these tribes together, how they keep control of them long after facts and truth and all that stops mattering. As we see now, truth and facts it doesn't matter anymore. But how they manage to keep control. But hey, you got any thoughts on this or anything you want to add or comments or questions or anything like that, please drop them down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Like, hey, loved the comments that I got on the videos. I appreciate you guys more than you will ever know. I love it, man. Whether you agreed, whether you disagreed, I loved it. I love seeing you guys interact. But you know what? We got to get more of that going on. We got to get that where we conversate, that flow of information, because people have stopped doing that now. And I'm glad to see that, people. I just wanted to say that. But hey, as always, I'm take care of yourself and each other. Hey, show a little more kindness, love, and respect out there. The world will be a better place. I'll catch you guys in the next one.